Chapter 1 of The Captain of the Nine by William Heyliger. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Captain of the Nine by William Heyliger. Chapter 1 The New Captain. The St. Mary's varsity infield, confident, joyous, was practicing in the cage. "This way," barked Curtis from third base. "Stick it down here, old pal." Bartley, the star varsity pitcher, tossed the ball into the air and swung his bat as it came down. The leather streaked along the third base line. At once the infield, alert, peppery, jabbered encouragement. "On your toes, old man. After it there. That's a way." Darting over to the right, Curtis scooped the ball with his bare hand and threw to Mellon, the second baseman. The ball hardly settled in Mellon's glove before it shot on a line to Kaufman, the giant first baseman. Kaufman, in turn, drove it to Murray, the catcher. As the ball plunked into Murray's big mitt, Ned Kennedy, Bartley's roommate and a varsity pitcher too, squeaked in delight. "That's the stuff, fellas. Fine. Couldn't be better." "We're not so worse," grinned Kaufman. Bartley turned to Kennedy with a laugh. "We won't have much trouble if they back us up that way, will we, Ned?" "Not much," agreed Kennedy. "We can pitch straight balls. They'll do the rest." The infielders cheered. "Leave it to us," they shouted. It was the first week following the call for baseball candidates. Members of last year's varsity infield, by agreement, had come early to the cage to try each other out. Jenkins, the coach, and Redway, the captain of the nine, had not yet arrived. The infielders practically had the cage to themselves. Again Bartley slashed the ball. This time it started on a line drive for the outfield. Mellon, running furiously, leaped high in the air and speared the flying leather. "Whee!" screamed Kennedy. "Do it again! What chance will Rockton have against us? If Jenkins were only here to see that!" "There he comes!" called Bartley. The coach and Captain Redway were entering the cage. The coach's face was clouded and troubled. "Something's up," muttered Kennedy. The infielders sensed as much. They came in quietly to the plate and gathered around Murray and Bartley. Redway waved his hand at them and shouted his regular greeting. "How are my faithful subjects today?" One or two of the boys answered, but without spirit. When the coach and the captain came closer, all efforts at cheerfulness had worn themselves out. "Any more of the varsity fellows around?" asked Jenkins. Curtis answered, "Hardy's in the locker room." "Come along. I want to talk to you." The coach walked toward the locker room. The boys stared at each other a moment, and then followed wonderingly. Several of the minor candidates who had arrived behind the coach trailed after. At the locker room door, Captain Redway good-naturedly halted them. "Just a minute, fellows," he called. "The coach wants to talk to the varsity." "But we want to get into uniform," protested one of the candidates. "There'll be no practice today," Redway replied. "No practice?" The varsity stared again. "Huh," muttered Kennedy. "Something is the matter." They found Hardy, the center fielder, in the room, buttoning his baseball shirt. He paused as the doleful procession entered. "What's the sad news?" he demanded. Jenkins closed the door. "Redway has resigned," he said. "It is a serious thing to lose a tried-and-true captain just as the training season starts." Hardy's hands dropped to his sides. The rest of the fellows fell back a step. After a moment, a sigh ran from boy to boy. Redway always went behind the bat when Kennedy pitched. Now Kennedy was the first to find his voice. "Oh, come now, Redway." The captain shook his head. "I'm sorry. It's a case of must. Jenkins tried to talk me into holding on. It's impossible." "But the nine," began Kennedy. "This is of more importance than the nine," the captain answered. One or two of the fellows appeared scandalized. Kennedy swallowed hard. He knew Redway. If the captain said this unknown something was of more importance than St. Mary's, it must be so. "What is it?" he asked. "Tell them," ordered Jenkins. "They elected you. They have a right to know why you must quit." "I received a letter from my father," Redway began hesitatingly. His business has about failed, and he's not well." "You're not leaving?" cried Bartley. "Not yet, though this will probably be my last year. My father suggests that I get all I can from what's left of the term. He doesn't object to my playing ball, but he wants me to quit as captain. He says that the time I give to the captain's duties must be given to study. He's right, of course." "It's mighty tough," growled Kennedy sympathetically. "It might be worse," said Redway with a brave attempt at a smile. The coach coughed. Even the fellows were not deceived. They crowded around the captain with encouragement. "You'll be back next year, Redway. Certainly. Couldn't lose you, old man. Why, Rockton would be willing to burn down a building or two if she thought you were really leaving." Redway's eyes were moist. "I guess I know how you feel, fellows." "I suppose we must elect a new captain," said a brisk voice. The varsity players turned suddenly. Mellon, the second baseman, was standing off to one side. "You needn't be in such a smashing hurry about it," snapped Kennedy. "We must have a captain."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?